Preparing for an IELTS exam can be really tough because you might be scared a lot. Today, I'm going to share with you the exact process of how I prepared for my IELTS general test for Canada and how I was able to score 8.5 in IELTS general. Also, I'm going to share with you some common mistakes that you must avoid so that you will be able to score good in your IELTS. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maitri Shah. I hope you all are doing amazing. Today I'm back again with one of your suggested topics, and I'm so glad that many of you have asked about this because when I was preparing for my IELTS general test, I had somewhere down in my mind thought that if I'll be able to score good, then I'll put it down on my YouTube channel so that if someone is preparing for IELTS general, they might get some help from my video. So thank you so much for asking about this topic. Today I'm going to share with you the exact process of how did I prepare, when did I start, what things should you consider, what mistakes should you avoid, and how can you make sure that you get good marks in the very first exam. Because IELTS is quite tough. You don't want to go again through the entire process, and you don't want to be lazy because after all it is going to cost you quite a couple of bucks and it is not that cheap, right? So today whatever I share with you, please make sure that you follow it and you get the best results in your IELTS. And before I share, also please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon because I'm posting a lot of videos regularly and I don't want you to miss it out. Also, I'm always looking forward to your suggested topics on which I can put down my thoughts. So if you have any such thought in your mind, make sure that you comment or you can even message me on Instagram. So let's get started. So when I started my IELTS, it was September 6th. As you can also see here, somewhere I have written September 6th was the first day when I started preparing for my IELTS Canada test. My exam was scheduled in October. I started preparing around 20 days before the exam. Now I am an English medium student, but still I was very scared because first of all the exam is costly. Secondly, I did not want to go back through that process again and again. I did not want to waste time again and again. So I made sure that in my very first exam I score good, I prepare good, and I make sure that I work hard towards it. So if you are appearing for IELTS, again this is just for general, like whatever tips I'm going to share with you are for general IELTS test, which can be also used for Canada or Australia. I appeared for Canada's IELTS. So if you are appearing for it, please make sure that you are showing your 100% dedication, because I know that there are some people who would think that the first chance would be like I'll just go and give in and then I'll see if I fail I'll reappear. But according to me, why do you want to do that? Why not prepare for the very first test in the very best possible way so that you don't have to reappear? So I don't know what are your thoughts, but yeah, this is one of my suggestions, that please make sure that you show 100% dedication and you work hard towards it. So how to get started? Now I created a book specially for IELTS because I wanted to make sure that I have all my information in one place. So first I have entirely learned from YouTube. I have not even opened any book. I did not buy any book because for IELTS there is so much information on YouTube itself that you actually don't need to buy any other books and you don't have to invest in anything else. Unless you want to, you surely can, but I would suggest that go through YouTube's entire content. There is tons of content. So I started with noting down what are the things that are part of IELTS test, meaning there are 4 sections: listening, reading, writing and speaking. So very first thing I did was I created this notes. In that I have written that first your test will start with listening, which is of 40 minutes. Then will come reading, which is of 60 minutes. Then you will have writing, which is of 60 minutes, in which you have to write 2 things. One will be your letter, which is for 20 minutes. Second will be your essay, which will be for 40 minutes. The very fourth and the last section would be speaking, in which you are supposed to talk with an IELTS examiner who will take your speaking test for around 11 to 15 minutes. Speaking section is actually the easiest part because you're just having a conversation, but yes, it can be very overwhelming because you will be scared, you will have that nervousness, and talking with an examiner is quite tough. So there are chances that in speaking, though it is the easiest, you are going to be scared of it. Also, I'm going to share this photo on the side so that while I'm speaking, you can see that. Now, I also made sure that I write down what is my target, what is my goal that I want to achieve in the exam. This is really very important. I sometimes think that why do people don't write their target? When you write it down, that stores in your mind, and when you again keep on opening your book, you always read that, so you know that you have to work hard towards it, you have to achieve it anyhow. I had written here very clearly that my aim is to get 8 in listening, in reading, in writing and speaking 7 each. This was my like minimum target which I had targeted. Also, before that, I want to share with you what were my scores. I am not able to easily remember my scores, so I have written it down here. So I have scored 9 in listening, 8.5 in reading, 7 in writing and 8.5 in speaking. Now I was like quite not happy with my writing score, but I'm going to share with you why did I not score good in writing at the end. So make sure that you watch that, because it is really very important tip which I realized after my exam. So anyway, so my total was 8.5, which was pretty amazing for Canada. Now talking about tips, so let's get straight into the very first thing. Listening, the process will be like, it will be 30 minutes audio which will be played. You will be given a headphone. You have to listen to that very carefully so that you don't miss out on the words, and you will be given a booklet with an answer sheet. So when you're listening, what you can do is you can just write down your answers in the question paper itself, and after that you will be given 10 minutes at the end which you can utilize to copy your answers from the question paper to your answer booklet. So the entire listening test is for 40 minutes, 30 minutes audio will be played. You will be writing answers in the question booklet itself, and you have to make sure that you listen to it very carefully, because sometimes it gets very fast and you don't want to miss out on words. Then comes reading, which is of 60 minutes, in which you will be reading the entire question paper. Like there will be paragraphs, there will be conversations, you will be getting a booklet kind of thing, and in that test make sure that you write down all your answers directly into the answer sheet, because you will not be getting extra time at the end. Then comes writing. Writing first will be 20 minutes, in which you are supposed to write a letter. A letter can be to a friend, can be to a boss, can be to an employer, can be to a government official, and in that you have to make sure that you write down minimum 150 words. Now here is something interesting mistake which I did, which I'm going to share it at the end. Then comes an essay, which will be of 40 minutes. In that you'll be given a very general topic and you have to write essay on it. It can be related to health, can be related to some environment thing, or something related to regular life, something related to politics, or very, very common topic. It will be of minimum 250 words. Make sure that you write down 250 words. Now in this case you don't have to actually count 250 words, but when you're practicing for your writing test, make sure that you take a printout of the same format of paper. You can easily find it on Google, and also on some of the YouTube channels they have linked the exact format of paper. While you write it down, make sure that you write 5 to 6 words in one line. If you start practicing that way in the same booklet, then during the exam you will not have to actually count the number of words, because you don't want to waste that time. Instead, if you start writing like 5 to 6 words, then you will exactly know that when my 250 words are over, how many lines am I supposed to write. So that's how I had practiced. Then comes speaking. So it will be a formal introduction, like the examiner will ask you about who you are, what is your passion, and what do you do, and then you'll have a conversation. They will give a topic, they'll ask you questions, and you are supposed to answer a little bit in detail. Like when they ask you what is your name, just don't say your name, like don't say Maitri Shah. Instead say my name is Maitri Shah. That way you will have a conversation, because they want to test how detailed you can speak on something. Even in the question section where they'll be giving you a topic and they'll ask you a question, make sure that you at least speak 2 to 3 sentences and don't just stop there. It's okay if you're keeping on speaking, and if they have to stop you, that's okay, but you shouldn't be stopping right away. Now If you want my suggestions on how to actually prepare for every single module, then please let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure that I create a video on that as well in a different video, because then in that case, if I do it in this video only, this video will be very long and then you'll be bored to see it. So I can definitely give you my exact guidance of how I prepared for listening separately, reading, writing and speaking. Now before that, so how I actually prepared. I started preparing before 20 days, almost 20 days, and I made sure that I pick a module. I started with listening because I felt that it might be easy, but honestly, when I gave my first listening test, I had only scored like 15 marks. So whatever I prepared was from YouTube channels only. I'm going to also link all the YouTube channels in my description which I referred for my IELTS. I almost practiced the listening test for around 6 to 7 days. I used to give a listening test every single day, at least 2. So I used to open a YouTube channel, listen to the audio, write down answers in my answer book. I can in fact even show you some of the listening test examples that I did. So as you can see here, this is my test number 7. I'm not able to find the test which I gave before this, but that's how I used to practice my listening test. Now I gave it until 7 days. In between, on 3rd or 4th day, after giving a couple of tests, I think on 3rd day I had already completed 6 tests. I started scoring good. So that's when I also started preparing for reading parallelly. You are supposed to prepare for IELTS at least 15 to 20 days before the test, because when you start, initially all your tests are going to be very bad. Unless you are very good at IELTS, you will be able to score very good. But though being an English medium student, I was not able to score good when I was practicing my IELTS at home. So on 3rd day, I also started preparing for reading parallelly. As you can see, here are my reading tests. Again, I'm not able to find the earlier test, but as you see, this is like test number 6 for reading. Again, for reading, I searched for everything on Google and YouTube. There are question papers already available. They have answers as well. All you need to do is set a time. Now, this is very, very important. Make sure that when you start preparing for your test, you have your timer set of 40 minutes, 30 minutes, so that you know in how much time frame you are supposed to finish the test. If you don't do this, then on the exam day, I assure you, you will not be able to finish within the time limit. When you're practicing, make sure that you have your timer set. Now on 3rd day, as I said that I started for reading test, I got all my material from YouTube and from Google, and then I again gave reading and listening parallelly for next 5 days. Yeah, I think 5 days. Reading was very much easy for me because I'm a fast reader and I have that practice of reading because I read a lot of books. So reading was comparatively very easy, but again it gets a little bit complex because the statements are such that you get confused. You start thinking that even this will be right or even this can be right. So don't take reading very lightly. Make sure that you practice reading also. Now when I got confidence in listening completely, I stopped preparing for listening, but until then I had almost given 10 to 12 tests. Then after I got confidence in reading, I started parallelly writing. Now for writing, here's my top recommendation. If for a month you can take Grammarly Pro version, it will really help you in correcting all your grammatical mistakes. Because I'm a content writer and I have to, like, writing is my job, I do that every day. So I do have a Grammarly Pro version. If you don't want that, then you can also use the basic free version, but it will not correct all your words, but it will be good for at least starting with. And also you can figure out or you can find some of the free assessment IELTS writing which are available on Google. I did try out 1 or 2. They gave me a free assessment of my writing test. I just tried it out because I wanted to see like how well my grammar and spellings and the entire writing format is. So that's my top recommendation for writing. Make sure that you take either Grammarly Pro version or find out some of the free assessments tools which are available on Google for free. Writing can be very hard. Writing was definitely hard for me because though writing is my job, I do that every day, but I have not come across writing letters and essays since ages. Like, I don't remember writing after 11th or 10th standard. So yes, writing was tough for me as well. But again, in writing, you have to make sure that you practice at least 10 letters and 10 essays. They are of very different format. Again, if you want me to create a separate video on types of letters, types of essay, and what should be made sure in writing, then please comment below. I can definitely create that video, because I have certainly made many good notes on writing, like the types of letters. I can just show you one so you get an idea. So yeah, that's how I prepared my notes. These are types of letters, as you can see: letters of condolence, letters of appreciation, thanking someone, complaint, request. So I have this entire notebook filled with IELTS notes. So if you want any such suggestions or any such things, then please make sure that you comment, because this would be a very long video then. For speaking, I did not practice much. I just had 2 to 3 conversations with my husband on how to communicate with each other. Again, for speaking, I had seen a lot of YouTube videos, so I had the basic idea of how to actually speak, how to make sure that I communicate longer. Again, I'm saying, for every single module that you practice, please make sure that you set a timer aside. So yeah, this was just a brief of how I prepared for my exam. Again, key pointers that I want to remind you. First, make sure that you set a target which you want to achieve. Make sure that you create notes of everything that you learn. Third, make sure that you have a timer for every single module that you practice. Fourth, start with one module, get nice experience in it, start scoring good in it, and then pick second module. Don't rush into everything together, because then you'll be scared. You'll be like, shit, I'm not able to score good marks now. What will I do? What will happen on the exam day? So make sure that you don't do that mistake. Start with one module, gain good marks in that, go to next. It's like become an expert of one and then move to next. Then fifth point is that show 100% dedication. You don't want to waste more money. You don't want to go through the entire process again. Sixth, get a Grammarly Pro version if you can. It is not going to cost you much. If you can, then please get a Grammarly Pro version. It is going to help you with your grammar check, punctuations, spelling mistakes, and how to rephrase sentences, which words to use, which adjectives to use. It is going to help you a lot. That is my top recommendation. So this was 6 basic recommendations that I want you to follow for your IELTS General. Now, mistakes that I really want you to avoid, especially in the writing section. In the writing section, do not write more than what you should be. Say for example, letter should be of 150 words, then I would recommend you to just write up till 170 words. What mistake I did was, like, when it comes to writing, I can write long things because that is my passion, and I end up writing a lot. So after my exam, when I scored like 7 in writing, I was quite confused what might have gone wrong, and luckily I know a person who is into IELTS as a profession. So I called her up and I asked her, like, what do you think, what might have gone wrong? Because she had seen my IELTS writing. I had sent her my papers and stuff just to review once. So she had told me that I am good at grammar and I'm good at writing and everything. So she told me that the highest possibility of you scoring less marks in IELTS writing is because you might have written lot of words, which I totally agree, because even while I was practicing at home for writing, letter limit is 150 and I used to reach 250 words. Again, for essay the limit is 250 words and I used to write till 400 words. So this is one biggest mistake which I learned, which I should not have done. But anyway, I have scored 8.5 in IELTS General, so right now I'm good with it. I don't have to reappear. This is one top mistake that you must avoid. Now the second mistake which I want you to avoid is laziness. Please force yourself. You can break down IELTS studies in 2 parts. Like, you can give a test of listening in morning, you can do a test of reading in evening. That way you are not too bored, because both the tests are going to last for like 40-45 minutes each. So there are chances that if you sit at once and prepare for like 2 hours, you'll get bored, and after that if you don't score good, then you'll be more bored, you'll be more frustrated. So the way I want you to break it down is prepare for one module in the morning. If you have become an expert of it, then prepare for the second module in the evening. And I don't recommend you buying lots of books for IELTS, because as far as I have prepared, I literally have gone through just YouTube. There is so much content that I assure you, you'll not be able to even see everything. The third thing is not a mistake, but is my topmost recommendation that I want you to do is prepare for minimum of 10 tests for each module, because for the first 3 tests there are chances that for every single module you might not be able to score good. That will depress you a bit, that will frustrate you a bit, so you don't want to go into that trap of frustration. So make sure that you prepare for at least 10 tests, so that by 10th test you will be an expert of all the 3 modules. For speaking, I would suggest you to have a communication with a friend who is good in English, or a family member, or a teacher. Have a couple of conversations, so that way during the exam day you might not be lot scared, and again go through all the speaking YouTube videos. So yes, these were my recommendations, my suggestions, and the process that I have followed, which I want you to follow. Now apart from this, if you want my help in separate modules, please let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure that I actually will share with you the exact notes that I have created, so that you can even screenshot all these things and then you can refer it during your exam. So please make sure that you comment below. I hope that my brief about IELTS was helpful for you. Please do not stress a lot. Give it freely, have an open mind, practice a lot. I'm someone who practices and who does that much amount of hard work before appearing for an exam, because I don't want to regret later, and I also don't want you to regret later. So please make sure that you just give like 15 to 20 days for your IELTS exam. After all, it is an expensive test. After all, there's a goal which you want to achieve after IELTS. Maybe you want to move to Canada or Australia, or whatever your goal is, but please make sure that you just give 15 to 20 days of your life towards your IELTS exam. So these were my basic tips. I hope it was useful for you. Once again, if you want my tips on separate modules, please comment below. You can message me on Instagram, and then I can create a video as soon as possible. Also, do comment below, when is your IELTS test? Have you already appeared? What were your scores? And which module do you find the hardest? So if there's a module that you find hard, then I'll make sure that I share the exact tips that I have used, and I'll share the exact notes as well. So that's it guys. I hope that my video helps you in getting that energy for appearing for your IELTS and letting yourself know that yes, you can pass the test. I hope this was useful for you. Once again, thank you so much for watching my video. Please make sure that you work hard, prepare for your IELTS, and if this video was helpful for you, then please make sure that you like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, take care, and all the best for your IELTS.